Welcome to 5-minute revision number 6, and this is paper 1, question 5, the descriptive writing. So, why is this important? Well, obviously it's 40 marks, which is half of the whole marks for this paper. So, you're advised to spend about 45 minutes on this. You need to plan, and you need to check your answers at the end. You get a choice of 2 questions, both of them linked to the theme of the text that you've just read. You could get 2 stories, 2 descriptions, or 1 of each. How's it marked? Well, you get 24 marks for content, so the quality of your writing, the language features you use, and your descriptive writing, the organisation, how you structure it, and you get 16 marks for your technical accuracy, your spelling, your punctuation, and your grammar. Okay, so what's the best way to approach this? Well, in this particular example here, we've got 2 stories, but to be very honest, it doesn't matter whether it's a story or a description. You're going to use the same process really for each. So why is it so important to plan? The feedback we got from the Chief Examiner of AQA is that they really want to see evidence of planning in students' writing. Now, this doesn't mean that they want to see your plan on the paper. It's not marked. If you do write a plan, you just cross through it. By evidence of planning, they mean they want to see that your writing has some sort of structure or organisation, that you've thought about what to focus on as you go through your writing. And obviously, you need time at the end to check your spag. So that's why these 2 are important. They relate directly to the marks that you get. So you might only spend about 30 minutes of that 45 actually with pen to paper writing your description or your story, and that's absolutely fine. So what are the important things to remember? Well, in question 5, it's your chance to show the skills that you've been learning about in the reading section. So in question 2, you've been looking all about how good writers write descriptively, how they use language techniques and language features to make their writing interesting. And so that's what you've got to do now. It's your chance, both in the story and the description, it's your chance to use those language features and techniques in your own writing. In question 3, you looked at structure. So over the year, we've looked at lots of different texts, and you've had a chance to see how writers have structured their work. Some have used dreams and nightmares in their writing. Some have used dialogue. Some have used flashbacks. Some have linked their beginning to their ends. Some have had particular themes running through their writing. Okay, so remember all that. You don't have to include all of them, but it's your chance to show that you can structure a piece of writing. Even if it's just thinking about what you're going to focus on in each paragraph, So for example, just to take this picture, we've got, looks like a man, I think, sitting there. You could start off with a close focus on this man, maybe inside his head and what he's feeling, and then you could widen your focus out to include a description of the area, and then maybe widen right out, to go right further into the background of the landscape, and then maybe at the end come back to the man and back inside his head. That would be a nice structure to a story or a description. So, do have a think about this before you start writing, because it will get you those extra marks that you need, okay? So, the real things to look out for, as we found over the year, is if you write a story, okay, make sure that you include description. So, you've got to include descriptive techniques and descriptive writing in your story. It's much more important than plot and action and things like that. Likewise, if you write a description, don't forget the structure, don't forget to organise it. Think about what you're going to focus on in your paragraphs. Now, the examiner has said to us that it doesn't actually matter if you don't manage to finish your story or your description. Obviously, it's nice if you can, but as long as they can see evidence that you've been thinking about how you're writing it as you go along, you can still get good marks. I mean, it's great if you can actually finish it, but even if you can't, as long as they can show, you can show evidence that you've had an idea for the structure of the story or description, then you can still get good marks on this question. So remember, plan it, think about your structure, include lots of descriptive language and language features, and do check your accuracy at the end.